Hello, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 96 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is healthy mac and cheese. Let's call it mac and VegCheese. Anyway, sorry about that one. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they would help. With that being said, let's go over our things to do today. Of course, we have our daily inspirations, which I'll be reading from my phone once again because I forgot to write them down. I'm going to talk about finding your joy, or finding my joy. You know, finding your own joy, I guess it should say. And then mac and cheese done healthier. And just a friendly reminder, every recipe I make for you, I make it for you for the very first time on camera, including all my substitutions, which there isn't too many of this time. So let me go over the recipe real quick, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so it's called Hidden Veggie Mac and Cheese, and it's 1 cup frozen cauliflower florets, 1 cup frozen bell pepper, 1 cup frozen corn, and 1 cup frozen butternut squash, 3 cups milk divided, 1 tablespoon of butter, a half teaspoon of onion powder, half teaspoon of garlic powder. Couldn't read my own handwriting again. 3 cups dried short pasta, so elbows, bow ties. I'm using the cavatappi, the corkscrewy ones, and then 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar. So my substitutions for the bell pepper frozen was I don't like a lot of green. It doesn't set well with me. So in order to get the mix of the 3, I had to get the frozen. It's a combo of all red, yellow, and green pepper, and then onion, diced onion. And then the other thing is the cheese, which I'm doing. There was a mac and cheese blend, shredded blend at the store, which was like Swiss, cheddar, and something else. I'll let you know in a minute. And then I did get like a cheddar jack as well. Okay, so in a large pot, you're going to bring 1 inch of water to a boil. Okay, insert the veggies, cover and cook 8 to 10 minutes or until fork tender. So basically pulverize them because, well, she put them in a basket, and that's why she says she did the 8 to 10 minutes, but I did the 8 to 10 minutes anyway. And then it says transfer veggies to a blender. I'm going to use my immersion blender. I did start to mash them like potatoes, but the corn and the butternut squash were going to be a little too texturally challenging when we went to go mix everything together. And then you're going to pour in the half cup of milk to help blend until smooth, and add splashes of water or milk as needed to help with blending. I don't think they need from your original milk stock for the recipe. Put veggie mixture back into the pot. But see, we're staying in the pot, so we don't have to worry about that part. Add rest of the milk, so 2.5 cups, your tablespoon of butter, onion and garlic powder. Bring mixture to a boil. This is an interesting recipe. And then quickly reduce the heat to maintain a gentle simmer because you don't want to scald the milk. And I'm kind of known for getting it pretty close to scalding, so I have to really pay attention. Add the pasta to the pot with the milk, and then cook and the veggies, and then cook, stirring frequently to prevent scorching. She's really worried about scorching, and we're going to do that for about 15-20 minutes or until the pasta is tender. I'm a little worried I might have to do longer because I got the thicker cavatappi, but we'll see. You may need to add some splashes of milk again or water, and she doesn't state whether that comes out of your stock, so I'm assuming any additional splashes of milk. Throughout cooking process, if liquid is low, Cooking time varies based on pasta you use, so check done this at about 15 minutes. And then once done, remove pot from heat, stir in cheddar cheese. The sauce should be thick and creamy. If you want to thin the sauce, again, add some water or stir in some milk. And stir until it's your desired thickness. Serve and enjoy. Now it says calories are 550, carbs are 70 grams, proteins 24 grams, and fats 20 grams. But I also find that hard to believe because I feel like with that amount of vegetables in there, you would think it would be a little bit more healthier. Or the veggies should cut the fat. But anyway, here we go. And we're going to go backwards. So today is, I always felt that the great high privilege, relief, and comfort of friendship was that one had to explain nothing. Catherine Mansfield. A true friend encourages us, comforts us, supports us like a big easy chair, offering us a safe refuge from the world. H. Jackson Brown Jr. I know there's strength in the differences between us. I know there is comfort where we overlap. Ani DeFranco. And that was for the third. For the second, the lust for comfort, that stealth thing that enters the house a guest and then becomes a host and then the master. Khalil Gibran. The first, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And I forgot to write down who that was by. Okay. Time makes fools of us all. Our only comforts that greater, small. Oh, wow. Our only comfort is that greater shall come after us. I don't know if I wrote that down right. E.J. Bell. I want to do everything, and I don't think that's too ambitious. Megan Hilty. And that was March 30th. And that was a week's worth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. All right. So we got that done. Now on to this process over here. So what I did was I said I mashed them a little bit like they were potatoes. And they got to about this consistency. She said there were substitutions, like you could use pumpkin or any kind of winter squash to replace the butternut squash, which I had a hard time finding in the frozen food section. The other thing I was thinking was I could do like I did for that one zucchini bread where I used baby food. I was wondering if I could do that instead. So that is back in my mind. But I'm doing this for a couple of lovely people that love mac and cheese, but maybe we need to cut some of the fattiness of it for them and make it a little bit healthier so they can have it more often without knowing why. Okay, so let me get a spoon out because I want to kind of get this all. Hopefully this immersion blender won't scare the bejesus out of me. But feel free to put it in your regular blender as well if you don't have one of these guys. So I'm going to pour my milk in. That's a half a cup. Okay. And then I'm going to get this started. I'm going to see how it works, and then I'm going to probably put you on pause so you don't have to. Okay. Great. Am I not doing something right? Oh, kind of push the power button. So essentially I'm just stirring it and kind of blending it at the same time. I think having it in a smaller pan where I don't have to chase it around as much probably would have been a better idea, but All right, I'm going to put you on pause because it is kind of annoying. And I'll be back with you in just a couple minutes. Stay right there. All right, it took a little longer than I thought, but here is the end result. It looks very lumpy still, so I'm hoping that adding the rest of the ingredients is going to help. It smells really good though, and the color for the cheese is pretty spot on. So I'm not too worried about that. The thing I am going to add that I feel like I remember my grandma adding to her baked macaroni. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say, as I'm going to bake my macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to look up a recipe while I'm on pause at one of these times to figure out. I feel like it'd be like 400 for a little bit, but who knows. And then I'm also going to do cracker crumbs or croutons or stale bread or something of that nature, maybe saltines on the top, and go from there. Okay, so that being said, our next thing we have to do is put we got the, and then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients basically, except for the pretty much all the ingredients. Excuse me. So I'm going to get the rest of my stuff out of the fridge. So this is my other 2.5 cups of milk, which we're going to be adding now. We're also going to be adding our tablespoon of butter, our half teaspoons of both onion and garlic powder. And we're going to bring that mixture to a boil. Just this. Milk, butter, the 2 powders. We're going to bring this whole thing, right? Put veggie mixture into pot. Add rest of milk, butter, onion, and garlic powder. I want to make sure. Bring the mixture to a boil. Okay. We're going to get that in there. And we're going to get the butter in there. We're going to get all our seasoning in there. And I think this is when I'm going to be adding the, like, Dijon mustard. So let me get this started cooking. I'm going to get a plastic spoon because I hate that sound. Okay. So let me grab a little mustard. We got a little. Hello? I had some Dijon mustard. Where did it go? Alright, well we're going to use a little bit of yellow mustard then. Oops. Okay. Squirt. Like a tablespoon maybe. I don't even know if that'll do anything. Kind of disappointed it's not. Alright, so we gotta bring this up to a boil. And let's get this stuff out of here. So it's almost, I feel like we're cooking it more in the way that you cook like those pasta and rice sides that come in a pouch. And they have like a dried herb mixture combined with butter and milk, and then you cook it in that until it reduces down and like shrinks around the pasta. I feel like this is very similar to that. I could be wrong. So hopefully hopefully my pan's big enough for 3 cups of pasta. Interesting. This doesn't even seem like enough fluid to me for all that pasta. Gotta say, I'm a little nervous. So once this comes up to a boil, drop it in our pasta. Now we're going to quickly reduce the heat to maintain a gentle simmer. And then we're going to add the pasta. And we're going to cook, stirring frequently to prevent scorching. Yeah, it's almost like we're cooking like a... And we're relying on this like veggie sauce to be a good portion of our cheese. I wonder what the butter does. I'm just curious. Anywho, not that it makes a difference. But this is the mac and cheese blend. It's a blend of extra sharp cheddar, American, and Swiss. And then I got a blend of cheddar and Monterey Jack. So, should be yummy. So I need half a package of each of those. And since it says 3 cups, this one's a 2-cup box, and this one's probably a cup. I mean, it smells really good. It smells really good. Alright, I don't know if I'm supposed to be stirring it while it's boiling. But I want the butter to melt, I assume, before I put the pasta in. I'm debating about adding some milk already, just in my head. Because I'm worried about the liquid level for that much pasta. Okay, I better leave it alone so it comes to a boil. And this is going to be overcooked, I can imagine. But I'm going to be talking to you about finding your joy, or how I'm working to find my joy, or what steps I've been taking or haven't been taking to get to that place. I see it's bubbling around the sides, but the butter is still not melted. Come on, butter. Okay. Alright, we're going to quickly reduce to a gentle simmer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to a gentle simmer, as my oven is very finicky. And then we're supposed to add the pasta. Okay. Let me stir. Let me add a little more milk. Quarter of a cup, maybe. Okay. I really wanted to add the rest of that. Okay. I just don't. It smells really good, you guys, though. Okay, so this is going to go for 15 minutes at least. I don't know, did she say to keep it covered? Nothing about. I know we're supposed to stir it frequently, but I didn't know if in the meantime we're supposed to cover. Alright. We're on a gentle. I see what she means by making sure the sauce kind of keeps moving around. so it doesn't like stick to the bottom. But you also want to leave the noodles alone so they get coverage. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go for a little bit. I'll come back in the 15 minutes, and I'll tell you how it's going. Okie doke. See you in a few. All right, I just wanted to touch base with you real quick. Our 15 minutes, we have like 3 minutes left. But what I'm going to do is it's going to need a little more cooking time. I did add some salt and pepper, but it definitely needs more. And I'm definitely going to add more garlic and onion powder. So salt, pepper. I did find Dijon mustard, so I put a couple squirts of that in. I didn't want it to get too spicy. But it definitely is, very kind of bland. So I'm adding a good amount of salt. Not too much pepper. And if you have white pepper, it'd probably be a good time to use it. I mean, it is pretty creamy the way it's coming out. I'm not having a real issue with scorching, but I am having, I did add quite a bit more milk. So I think we're almost add a full cup extra, including the milk I added before I put you guys on pause. And this is like this, okay, before I've even added the cheese. So I'm a little leery about adding 2 cups. Oh, we can preheat to 350, and it says to bake it for about 45 minutes. So I think I'm gonna make 2 small ones because one is for a friend, because I want their opinion, and one is for us. So I'm trying to get more of a, just than the flat kind of vegetable, because vegetables are pretty watery, and so I'm trying to get, because we're trying to hide them, we're not trying to make them, stand out. But I don't know if our pasta's going to need more time or not. It seems pretty, still some pretty hard bites in there. It needs to go a little bit longer, and it definitely needs more salt. I'm going to go 3 more minutes. I'm wondering if I need a little bit more milk. Sorry, that was so hesitated. But I'm pretty much out of liquid now, so I think we need just a scotch, 1/4 cup. I don't know. I feel like I should have been a little bit more warned about exactly what's a splash here and there. Not that I care, it would have been better to just prepare for that amount instead of guessing. Okay. I'm wondering about just putting the top of it for a smidge. I know I'm supposed to continually stir, but I also got my lid wet. Oi. Alright, so while we're waiting for this to finish up, finding your joy. And you'll be surprised. I know I've talked to you a lot about how one time you're thinking your path is headed in one direction, and you do a complete 180 in the other direction, and you feel like that's like a failure. But what you really don't understand is maybe it's just a shortcut. that maybe you're doing a zigzag and just, you needed to go a little more right or a little more left. So, I keep stepping on my... So I feel like when you're finding your joy, you kind of have to do the same thing. I mean, I feel like finding your goals is one thing. What you're aiming to accomplish in your life is one thing. And if you're doing it right, it does include your joy. But sometimes you have to go at those two things separately. And sometimes you need to separate, is business making you happy or is this other thing making you happy, so that you can weed out all the guessing. Because if you're not really sure like what you want to do when you grow up, as I am still wondering what that's supposed to be for me, I feel like you almost have to lose a little bit of yourself along the way to make this new version of yourself that knows all this new stuff. You still keep the old stuff, but you forget about a lot of the oopsies or the, first attempts, I'm going to call them, because we don't want to call them failures. They're just lessons along the way. But, wow, that went fast. All right, I'm going to try it again. Fingers crossed, guys. All right, pasta's definitely done. And we got to think about it. I'm going to cook another, 45 minutes. Wow, that's really good. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is, shockingly enough, add a little more salt. Although, if I'm doing saltines, do I have saltines? I do not. Do I have any crackers? Yeah, especially if I'm going to do like a crouton or something. We don't want to get too carried away with salt factor. Sorry, he disappeared for a second. Was getting out some bakeware. But I do want to add just a scotch more. I know that's a little tricky. Okay, so now this is the time we're supposed to add our cheese. Oh, it is thick. So if you, I think I want to thin it out because of adding the cheese. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a factor. Sorry, that was in the way. Because we haven't even added the cheese yet. So, I don't know. Half a cup. I don't like my mac and cheese to be super gummy or like, I don't know, stick to my lips is my judgment on that. If that makes any sense to any of you mac and cheese connoisseurs. Alright. That's a little better. Alright, so we're supposed to pull this off the heat. I'm going to come over there and do the cheese, I think. I'm going to spray these, don't worry. It's so noisy today. Alright. So, just based on not adding any cheese whatsoever, this is the color of our mac and cheese. Tell me that is not truly looking like a Velveeta. Like a Velveeta mac and cheese. Lighting is horrible, sorry guys. Okay. So, I'm of the persuasion that thinking less is more. So, I want to do less cheese. I know that's not popular for a lot of people. But, okay, that's a handful. And a pinch. Okay. I guess I should open these. Before I... Are you kidding? Oh my goodness.
this is nice because this one's a little more finely shredded. Okay, I'm only going to do a handful of that one. I just want to see where we are at in this whole process and if we really need 2 cups of cheese. I know you ask most of the people that love mac and cheese, they're going to say yes, of course. But I want it to taste like mac and cheese without being cheesy. Does that make sense? Oh man, you get a good arm workout. Okay, so finding your joy. That is what this show is basically about, right? And think about all the things that I do to make something taste better or have less calories or something so that I can have something a little more decadent or what's the word I would use? Sinful another day or with this meal. You never know. I want it to taste like cheese without me having to add any more. What are the odds? It's almost there. But again, I'm trying to be I don't know. All things in moderation, you know? And if the kids don't know, there's veggies here. Alright, I gotta figure out which one I need more of. I'm also thinking, parm wouldn't be bad to add that salty factor I'm looking for. Okay, I've done more than, ugh. Oh my gosh, it's getting harder to stir, that's for sure. Oh my gosh. I don't even have the arm strength to stir the mac and cheese. How bad is that? Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so let me prep my pans here. A little nonstick spray. Okay. And I guess this might be really nice. I think I'll do a little less for us. I guess I should have picked a different spoon. Okay. Aww. Okay. It is definitely creamy, guys. Like, there's no denying that. Maybe a little water would have been good. Oh well. I'm going to break up the monotony with the croutons. Let's get this other one filled up. Don't worry, I'm going to spread it out. Oh. Right in the spot I didn't want to put it in. Okay, you can see the strings of cheese for sure. Now, I won't be taste testing this for you on here today. I don't think, because I don't think I want to cook it this early. You know? I mean, I guess I could at least. I definitely tried it And I would say I wouldn't, this is just my own personal opinion, I wouldn't do this without baking it, just because it is so like rich looking, and it really isn't like about how much cheese we use. Now, if you are someone who needs to watch dairy, I'm sure you could use your substitute as long as it wasn't like a vanilla flavor, you know, or a flavored milk. Even coconut would probably be questionable because it's just unsweetened coconut like milk. That makes sense. All right. Okay. So the next step is I'm going to crush up some croutons. I'm doing one more cracker check. Okay. Normally I have crackers, but okay. This will add a little bit of the garlickiness that we're looking for too. I feel like saltiness, and I might even add this. We only have a little bit of parm in the bottom of this, so I think I'm going to do a combo of things. First, I gotta crush my croutons. And these are just cheese and garlic. But whatever ones you have would probably work. Or crackers, or stale bread, or, you know, whatever you want to do. Those are actually really sharp! Ow! You know what works really well? Believe it or not, is a rolling pin. And then I can stand here and talk to you about finding your joy without making a ton of noise. Maybe. Ow. Or maybe not. So, needless to say, I had so many other plans in mind before I started this channel. I was a personal trainer, like most of you know. I'm a certified nutrition specialist. There's so many things that I wanted to do. I wanted to start a coffee shop. I wanted to start an after-school program for teens. They're just kept going in all directions, and I couldn't nail down where it was supposed to go and how I could reach other people or more people. So that somehow came to this channel you see before you. That's ever evolving, ever changing. And if you don't like this episode, check some of the other ones. And tell me which ones you do like. Tell me what you like about them. I want to learn more. I've learned so many things. Well, this worked with the cookies. Let me put you on pause so I can crush my croutons. Okay, guys. I don't know where I left off because I thought I unpaused, and apparently I did not. So in the meantime, while I was talking to you and not really talking to you, I got our dishes set up. I did do a layer of croutons, a layer of parm, and then I did some more croutons after I taste tested it and found out it was absolutely delicious. And then I did a little sprinkling of cheese because I looked at my bags of cheese and realized I didn't really use 2 cups. And so I spread it out between 2 dishes. I'm going to bake them later, so I do not know why I preheated. That's what I was supposed to come back and say, but apparently I didn't push the button or didn't push it hard enough. So, needless to say, I talked about finding your joy and, listening to what the universe is telling you. And apparently the universe wasn't telling me to turn back on my camera. So, I think what I'm going to do, I could bake one now and one later. I think I'll bake theirs now, get it all covered up, and then they can, cook it again. So I'm just going to keep an eye on, I'm going to set it for about a half hour. That should be enough, I would think, but I did taste test it. It was really good. And even though it looks super rich and creamy, it doesn't leave that kind of creamy, gumminess in your mouth. So we got that going for us. I really wish I knew what I said when I was on camera, but it wasn't really on camera. But I just said I didn't see myself doing this kind of channel even when I started my channel. It was going to be about exercising, nutrition, and while it is about nutrition, it is not really about nutrition. It's about balance and finding, listening to that inner voice when you go, oh, you know what? I kind of like this. When I didn't like it before, or I kind of hate this now. I didn't used to hate it, So that's what I mean by listening to the universe and kind of listening to your own body and telling yourself, you know what, your body's trying to tell you something if you keep eating certain things over and over again and get bloated and what have you. So it's like, if we're not paying attention to our own system of signals, it's going to be really hard to listen to like the universe's signals telling you, you know what, you're supposed to be over here, but just a scotch, just scooch over just a hair, and you'll be fine. But it's true of your body, it's true of your mind, it's true of where you are in your career or in your family life. If you don't listen to what signals you're getting, they're going to get pretty mucked up, and you're going to get confused, and you're going to get frustrated. And frankly, I probably have been doing that for a really long time, and hence why I'm behind the 8 ball, behind all the younger people going, oh yeah, this is what I really want to do, and I know that I love this, and I can see myself doing this for the rest of my life. And I'm now starting to see the benefits of knowing what you're capable of and what you're really, really, really good at. Now, everybody's capable of a decent amount of things. And some people's capabilities are different than others. But what you're really passionate about and really, 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 really good at, that's probably what you're supposed to be doing. Does that make sense? And you're going to think it's not a job. You're going to go, there's no way this is a job. This just seems way too fun, too different, too out there, too up there. Who knows what people think about certain stuff. But I just remember going to one of Peyton's first parent meetings at the high school level, so freshman year. We were going to this informative meeting about the Google Chromebooks and how they were going to use those going forward. And a statistic popped up that like 30% of careers in the room, of the young people in the room, what their career was going to be doesn't even exist yet. And it's probably more than 30% if you really think about it. But I'm thinking back to her freshman year, which would have been 2017? No, 2016. And I think to myself, wow, between all the online things and the just people working from home now that wasn't so existent before, and might not be a good thing, but it might not be a bad thing. We kind of learned a lot about ourselves during that time frame, so it might be a lot that feels like it's in your face, and finding the joy at that time frame was probably one of the hardest things to do for a lot of people. So I think that's one of the reasons why I did this channel. There's so many different reasons, but I started at the year of the pandemic, and it was something that said to me, I really need to express myself. And I'm sure my family's sick of hearing it. So let me try you guys. I bet you're sorry that happened. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to put you on pause until this is done. I'm going to give you a quick taste test again. And then follow me at Kristen Haas on Facebook. KristinHass, and you can follow me at The Best Blessed Life on Instagram. And I will show pictures. I did not show pictures of last week's dinner. It was pretty tasty. My husband said it's better as a taco, because the chicken and rice just sitting on the plate was kind of a lot of just chicken and rice, you know? So he made tacos out of it, and I'm like, wow, that is pretty brilliant. So I froze the rest of it, and I'm going to let you know what I'm doing with it down the road a piece. I also have some frozen desserts that I'm going to be working on coming up shortly. So, yeah. I'm going to put you on pause real quick, and then I'll let you know how it turns out. Come right back. All right, I'm taking it out, guys. I got cleaned up in the meantime, mostly. Woo! Not super dark. Alright, so here it is. Looks pretty yummy, right? Okay, fingers crossed. I have it for cleaned it off. Alright. Ooh. Now I just took it out, so it's gonna be super duper hot too. I would say it's pretty good. Still could use some salt. And the other thing is a little bit more liquid before I baked it. I mean, I like it on the drier side when it comes to like baked macaroni and cheese, but it's pretty good. I mean, for not being fully mac and cheese, you're reducing the amount of cholesterol. Like I said, probably could use a little more salt, could probably use a little bit more liquid. So I'll adjust that one accordingly. And with that being said, I think we're done for today. I hope I helped at least find a little bit of joy, if you just laughed at me. And I hope I helped with all your mac and cheese lovers out there that don't need all the cheese. And you can even reduce the amount of dairy, period, if you just used a non-dairy milk. I guess that's about it, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell. And please pass them on to anyone you think that they could help. And I want you to go have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching.